Hey, good morning, folks, or rather, should I say good afternoon? Welcome to the NXT Motive Podcast. I have my co-host here. I have Mimi, and I have Derick, and myself, Femi. I am a government worker of some sort in one sense or another. I work in IT, and that's pretty much it. I have my colleague here with me, my co-host, Mimi.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name's Miriam. That's the M to the I to the R to the I to the A-M. Miriam. I'm just kidding. I claim it in Jesus' name that I'm a community social worker. Oh yeah, on to the next guy, Derick.
You already know how goofy this girl is. Anyways. So here is your more responsible host. So I'm Derick, I'm a designer. I'm with these guys because I feel like they're very talented, and we are starting our podcast. It's called the NXT Motive. You guys should tune in, and we're trying to promote the Black culture in Ireland. We're trying to show you guys our own identity here as Black people in Ireland. So today we're talking about Nigerian dads. And myself, Femi, and Mimi, we're going to be giving out different experiences. So stay tuned. And also feel free to give us a brief experience of your Nigerian dad in the comments. But before that, Femi's going to be giving us a brief, showdown or whatever about his experience in Nigeria. Because we haven't been to Nigeria in a long time, and he was there for 2 weeks. He's going to give us a brief,
Hey guys, so I was in Nigeria for what seemed to be almost 3 weeks, and it was fun. It was great. It was interesting. I went for the purpose of visiting my grandparents. I haven't seen them in almost 18 years, and it was great seeing them. They're still alive. They're healthy. They're well. I'd have loved to go earlier to see them at a younger stage in their life, perhaps. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm here now, but I'm glad I got to see them. I also went to Nigeria because I wanted to see my parents' property, because my mom is always talking about her property over the phone and whatnot. I just want to see what this whole vibe is, to understand what she's shouting about on the phone. So it was interesting seeing that. And then to also touch grass, literally fucking touch grass, because it's been a little bit of it now. In the sense that, I've always been against Nigeria in whatever sense, because I'm not pro-Nigeria at all. Most of my friends know this already, and I do, because
He eats all Nigerian food.
I do because somebody makes them, and while it's being made, I might as well eat it while it's hot. So thank the Lord Almighty for that. So what can I say? I want someone's giving you free food. You're not going to say no now. But yeah, no, the reason why I'm saying touch grass is because obviously it's very easy to be skeptical from an outsider's point of view when you're not actually in the country, to understand what it's really like and to understand what the struggle is, and to see how people are getting their daily bread in whatever aspect and whatnot. And I suppose as well to soak in the bit of culture, not to just be naive and to be, stubborn about what you don't understand as well, in the sense that because I don't like the culture doesn't mean that the culture doesn't have its values or its meaning or its significance. That being said, I've gained a little bit of knowledge about it now, and it's interesting seeing how people go about their daily lives, to see how culture, in terms of the practice and tradition, goes about influencing our daily lives in one sense. One of the also reasons why I went to Nigeria was to see some of my friends, the ones I've been talking to online for almost God knows how long. I've never seen them in person and whatnot. So it was interesting getting to see the people you've always communicated with on the phone, on WhatsApp, on every other social media platform, but actually never getting to see them. So that was really interesting for me, because I never imagined that I'd be seeing them. Now, keep in mind, I try to kill as many birds with one stone as possible. So, but yeah, Nigeria as a whole, the airport scenario, the beginning point really. The heat. The minute I touched down, the minute I actually stepped off the plane, I could feel the heat between the jet bridge and to the main building of the airport.
That's one of my biggest fears. So what was your biggest challenge there in Nigeria?
My biggest challenge would be in because I'm not used to the heat, and because my body is almost new to it in one sense, the sweat. I was sweating profusely for that was the biggest thing that I could say was the first encounter and the biggest thing that took me by shock. It was a cultural surprise in one sense that the heat was not something I'm used to. And obviously, because I've been here for almost 18 years and never been back home, when I felt the heat, I was sweating already. And I don't know where the towel came back from my bag. I started wiping everywhere as if I was just coming out of the shower and whatnot. So the heat was one of them. When I went, I had no choice.
You have no choice in Nigeria. You have to shower cold.
Some girls shower with hot water when you're in Nigeria.
Each to their own. It wouldn't be for me though. I know for sure my sister couldn't shower with cold water. She was having slight difficulty showering with warm water, but there were times where she felt that she was feeling cold, and then she had to plug in a bit of water from the kettle to mix the water up a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now that being said, yeah. Not gonna lie, nah, that's facts. So no, it's not different. It's exactly what we expected in the sense that, like, because we were not staying at a fancy upright apartment or building where there was water supply. I was staying at my grandma's house, for the record, and yeah, to an extent, it's in Ikorodu for those who know.
That's cool.
Yeah, really, you've been there? Really?
Electricity in Ikorodu, like, is usually known to be really good. Yes. Yeah, so that's one thing I know about Ikorodu. Like, and my high school was there as well. In Ikorodu. Wow. Yeah, my high school was there. So I went to a boarding school, private posh school. Don't worry, it's a posh school. People that know about VMJs, don't worry, they know.
He's giving what's it called, upperclassmen.
What do you say?
Upperclassmen.
When we didn't have light, it was okay because we had power supply, like the generator and whatnot. The generator. I did. Yeah, I learned that. That was an interesting one because you had to go through a switch to fucking flip off the thing and whatnot from power supply to generator. No. It didn't shock me, but my mom was very cautious with the idea of the mobile phone touch light to turn on the generator. I don't know where she got that from. I think she got it from Facebook. So I'm definitely one of the first things I said I was to do when I came back here was to disable Facebook on her phone. But yeah, overly cautious with the idea of mobile phone being used to turn on the generator and whatnot. So we had a dedicated flashlight for turning on the generator.
Okay, so on to the next, part of the segment. So, I have one brother.
From your mom and your dad?
Yeah, mom and dad.
Oh.
Dad got remarried, and he has, I think, maybe 3 kids, 3 girls.
Your dad moved back to Nigeria?
No, he's here in Ireland.
Oh, he's here in Ireland?
Yeah, he gets to pee here and then goes to Nigeria. He got married a few times, but he has 3 females there. 3 daughters there.
The older generation men here, I've heard a lot of stories. I just hope our generation will be better.
Our generation has to be... Ooh, do you want to talk?
No.
Our generation has to be better for God. Like, I just pray to God that our generation is better. But, like, I've already seen the guys that are my age. And they, too, are also very funny. But, yeah, in regards to my parents, my mom is also remarried. But I laugh. No. I laugh because I don't know how many step-siblings I have from her.
Bad thing though. You don't know how many half siblings or step siblings you have.
No half siblings, just step siblings. So like my mom got remarried to a guy. Unfortunately, he already had kids. Unfortunately, his wife had passed away, and then like they got remarried.
The Nigerian dude.
Yeah, a Nigerian youth.
Nigerian man. Like.
Yeah.
How would you get done by? Oh, it's not good to generalize. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Get done by Nigeria, by Europe, and then go around
and go to your next relation and still a Yoruba person like.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's easy.
No, you could. It's fine because if you now get to experience the same thing with the second person, it will really make you hate people from there.
Smart thing for you. You have a point. Tell me this about your brother in Nigeria, the one that's of the same parent. You.
So guys, I'm like, when I say that, like, I feel like there has to be someone out there that has the same experience as me, in the sense of he was born here but went back to Nigeria because what happened? Just like the whole having kids here, it's very expensive. No one to take care of them, and your children are both young. And he's in boarding school in Nigeria at the moment. Yeah, it's like a simple hi, hello kind of thing. I have no relationship with my brother. It's just my mom. Like honestly, it's just me and my mom. I don't even talk to my dad often because like there's this slight bit of me that also is angry with him with this whole thing. with the whole situation. So like,
I always thought that she had a dad and a mom here, and siblings here.
like no, like
I'm in the same boat as you.
look. Like I'm lucky that from my mom's side that there's just a huge amount of support there. So like there's my auntie, my uncle who just live like we live in the same estate, so it's like, and then my cousins there, like they're literally my family. So I consider them my sister, my two little brothers at the same time. Ooh, I got louder. But like, yeah, those are the people that I would consider like my family. With my auntie also around the, like in the next estate with her two babies, that's what I consider my family.
Of course, I mean, blood related in one sense or another. So at the end of the day, like you have your auntie with you and your cousins essentially, and that's your family to you. And it's unfortunate that like the relationship between you and your brother who are with the same parent is not as strong as it could have been. But look, there's a reason for everything. At the end of the day, you were separated by not by your own choice, but by decision made by people of elderly position who thought that they knew better, and not knowing that part of distance could cause such a strain in brother-sister's relationship. I have two sisters, and the next to me, we're not that close, but the last one I'm very close to. It just happens to be natural dynamic of relationship of some sort in one sense or another. But that being said, I don't have any bad blood with her. Yeah. It's just that for whatever reason, me and her are not that close. Yeah. But the very last one, we're just that close for whatever the reason might be.
You have such a podcast voice. Yes. Yeah. I'm serious.
To add to what you're saying as well, I actually have a half sibling as well in Nigeria. I was meant to meet her, but it didn't.
You didn't meet her?
I was meant to.
Why didn't you meet her?
But the thing is this, this holiday that I went to was from my youngest sibling, Florence, the one that was born here. Yeah. It was mostly for her to see Nigeria and experience Nigeria and visit her grandparents. She doesn't want the attention taken away from her in the sense that like if she gets to meet some half kid of some sort, then they'll be like, oh, we have a half kid now. I have to start looking after her. I don't know how old the younger child is. Not that it matters to me, but from what I understand, it's below 10. In one sense, so she's about 6, 7, maybe at the most 8, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, my dad went around the block. Anyhow, here we are. When I say he went around the block, he went on a hiatus break for 6 years when I was just about to enter college. So by the time I literally was about to finish my secondary school, he left, and then by the time I was about to finish, he came back. So that's a good 6-year break in one sense or another. And apparently, allegedly, the reason why he left was because he was trying to avoid the idea of paying for college fees, not knowing that because we live in such a poor society or poor income neighborhood, we will be entitled to Susie. But someone must have planted the idea into his head that if your son is going to go into college, it's going to cost you at least 3K, 5K kind of a thing. So he dipped thinking that he would have to find a way to cough up whatever X amount of money for college for myself, knowing that I'm the first, and then I have my two younger siblings who's also going to get to college. And that's not, look, I don't know what idea or how that got into his head, but I have a feeling someone influenced his ideas.
All these experiences, what, say it. Talk.
Some fathers should not, like some people are just meant to be birth. What do you call them? Sperm donors. Like, I don't know if you've seen the little clip with, the bald guy with Steve Harvey and a little girl. Yeah. Like, oh, I think he said it takes a special person to be a father. I think everyone can be a father, but it takes a special person to be a dad. Yeah. And like, that's just giving, sperm donor. You're just father. You are on the birth cell, but like, you're not doing shit. And like, I feel like I shouldn't talk about that. It really does, for me, it does hurt when I like, hear about stuff like that, because I'm like, I know that I'm also going through my own struggles with my own parental like relationships also there, especially with my dad also. Yeah. And like, it's just kind of hearing that part, it just kind of like makes me really mad, because I'm currently still in a similar situation with you, in the sense of like I don't even care to say it, and I've said it a few times. I've said it to so many people at this point that like, I told my dad to pay my college fees at a certain date, and instead of him paying it at a certain date, he came back to me and said to me something that I'm like refusing to talk about at the moment, because I'm still going through it with my therapist and my counselor at the moment, that he said some really nasty shit to me last year that I just completely like cut him off. I said, God, I'm done. I'm not talking to this guy again.
This just brings me to the question, is there any good Nigerian dad out there? I am for real. Like, I haven't, in a really long time, I haven't heard of a good Nigerian dad. Including myself, like, I feel like the way he cut yours off, like, in a way, I've cut him off kind of. I still talk to him, but like, probably like once a month.
You know, you keep doing better than me. I can go months without talking to my dad. I think I went ending August to around the ending of January.
So what you just said about saying that a therapist or something because of something he said to you last year, he did that to my sister just recently. So now she doesn't want to live in the same house with him. He's very abusive and everything, like with his words. Like, so she was like, she works from home and she's like, oh, this week I had to go into the office. But you know, the house is far from the office, so I'm going to stay with my friend that lives closer to the office. So he said, I don't give a fuck where you're going. Like, it was like, oh, even like go to hell, I don't care.
Can I just say something? In terms of like even just what your sister is going through, like I can say it as a woman, I know where she is coming from. As a woman, probably go and say to him, go and get pregnant, go and do whatever you want to. I know, like as a woman, I know where she's coming from. I think the nice thing about even just hearing about you, Femi, and also hearing about you, Derick, is that it kind of validates that it's not only happening to us women, as in women and their dads.
Like at the end of the day, my relationship with my dad now, my sister would think it's the best. I don't think it's the best. It could be better because he's not someone that communicates very well to the extent that I'd like him to be. Maybe it's because I have high standards of communication. Maybe it's because the way I communicate is slightly different than the way I like to communicate, and the way I want people to communicate with me is slightly different as well. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, if I ask him the question, he will hear the question, but then he will answer in his head and forget to respond, and you think that I'll understand what he's trying to say. To an extent, maybe like that has happened several times. Like yesterday, now this is an honest scenario. Yesterday, myself and my mom were having a discussion about what to have for dinner, and I was saying, "No, Mom, I don't want anything. I want Golden Moore." And he was saying Golden Moore is for children. I was like, "Okay, if you're saying Golden Moore is for children, can you tell me where it says it on the package or where it says it in any of its branding or marketing that this is for children only?" But he said, only children eat it, and then the elderly people who can't chew anymore. I was like, fine, just because it's categorized by those cohort of people doesn't mean anyone in between the fucking bracket cannot have it. And it just goes to show that like he's just saying he can't even argue against his own point because he doesn't have a point to argue against. Now maybe it's because I want to understand where you're getting that information from. Like I can say that Lamborghini is for people who have money, when if you're smart enough with your money, you can actually afford a Lamborghini and be living in a tent in an apartment. Technically speaking, like,
bro, I say it. It's such a terrible thing, man. As we can't even say, oh, they should do better. Like they are the most stubborn, egoistic people on the planet. So there's nothing you can say to them. Like I remember my dad, as a period like was so difficult. I had to take it to the Reverend Father in church. Some of my friends in Nigeria experienced the same thing, but there'll be like maybe one or two people. There was one of my family friends that their dad was totally different. So, but I knew people that experienced the same, and then I came here and I thought I was the same. Like people that were born within the black community, people that were born here had the same kind of shitty dads as well. And I'm like, what?
But you know the funny thing is that I won't lie, there are like I don't know if it's just that okay when it's your dad that's the issue, but then again no, there's all that you just know that everyone around you say that this person is the problem, you know that they are the problem. But then at the same time I've also met like amazing people who are like my uncle. I would consider him like, is it that you say big mommy, big daddy?
Is your dad's brother?
No,
he's from the mom's side.
Yeah, he's from my mom's side.
They're always chiller.
Like he's like, I would say like I consider him my bonus dad, like as in my bonus dad.
For me, I know for sure that before I become a dad, I know that I'd like to I want to be better in the sense that like I want to visit a therapist, a counselorist, and that way I know by the time I become a dad, if I become a dad, at least I'm not going to be a typical part of your own environment, as I say. But I don't believe that in the sense that like you can make yourself better from the environment that you grew up in. Just because you grew up in the hood doesn't mean you're going to be a hood nigga kind of a thing.
Yeah. I have a very important question. Many of us are not like our dads, right? Do you think our dads were like this, like the way we are? Do you think we were this way when we were younger? Did they change, or they've always been like this? Are there signs that we could be like this? Or is there something just different about us?
See, I think what's different about us is that I think there's more of like an emphasis on just even like, let me just say now, I'm going to throw out words, mental health, all these stuff. Like we have our phones whereby we're connected to so many things. We know what we like, what we don't like. And we know the ones that we're just like, oh, I'm watching it for the sake of just laughing. Or I know this is stupid, but like, like I feel like we're more informed. I think there's more of I feel like there's more empathy with us. Like someone showed it that Gen Zs are more likely to clean up the table when they finish at the restaurant than a millennial, if you notice that. They are more likely to stack the table at the end, stack the plates at the end of the table and then maybe clean it a little bit, and then walk away.
My sister is what? She was born in 1999. You do the maths. For me, before I leave a restaurant, I'll try and ensure that like I've helped the waiter. She's going to be 23 or some sort, or maybe 24.
1999.
2001, excuse me. Sorry, 2001.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me. That's my year. The next... Yeah, 24 soon, give or take. That sounds right. Yeah, so for me now, if I was to like at home, she doesn't like this. At home, whenever I finish eating, regardless of what type of meal I have, especially if I sat down at the table, where it's a public space, like a dining table like this, I'd ensure that at least I clean the whole table. If I can. Especially the area where I ate, because then I know that, God forbid, someone just quickly needs to use the table in an emergency. They need to fill out the form. You don't want fucking red oil on the paperwork, that kind of a thing, or you don't want any crumbs on the paperwork kind of a thing. And God forbid someone needs to use the table in an emergency and it's fucking all sticky or crumbly kind of a thing. That's not very nice, because I hate that personally. But my sister, she'd be like, well, I only eat here, so I'm gonna clean here. I'm like, bro, don't be fucking lazy. But then again, that's her own personality. I've always tried to enforce her to do better and clean wherever she ate, but she's not used to it. She doesn't like it. She just thinks that like I'm being obsessive in one sense.
And I just think with like all of us in regards to like I said, phones are there. I think majority of us have been given the opportunity to go to college. We've met different people. We've known the people we like, the people we don't like, the people we don't want to be around, and the people we don't want to be. Mm-hmm. And like I think that's where we're able to evolve in comparison to our parents. Because I feel like, I don't know, like Derick likes to make fun of my parents for some reason, and he should stop that. I warn you.
What?
But like, I don't know. I mean, like he said that they're from the village.
Oh,
but they are like they are they are from the
I
village.
forgot what your dad did. What your dad said to you about only making black friends in primary school.
Yeah.
Primary school.
You know the funny thing is that I'm so happy that I never really truly listened to that, because some of my good friends have been all over the diaspora, not only Nigeria, South Africa, also Tanzania, Lithuania,
he's doing that for selfish reasons.
But he's doing it for selfish reasons, but subconsciously he doesn't know that's selfish. I could be wrong.
And you see, for me, I'm happy that I was given the opportunity to just meet everyone. Mm-hmm. And I know the people I like, I know the people I don't like. Yeah. There's so many things that they say oh, Yoruba people do this, Igbo people do this, Nigerians do this more, Africans do this. But everyone is different. Full stop. Everyone is different. Everyone is different. By
their race,
or even their religion. Add that.
Their religion, please. Can't do that.
I also want to say that also not all Nigerian dads are like that. so there's also Nigerian dads who are sweet and amazing.
Very few. Out of 20, there's just one good one.
And you know the thing is that I'm not gonna say a friend's name, but I went on holidays with two friends at the time. Not at the time, we're still friends. Went on holidays with them. So I was talking to one, we were oh, when did you tell your parents that you were going on holidays? So I said, I told my mom maybe 2 months before I was going. No, I said I told my mom 3 weeks before I was going. The other one said I told my mom 2 months before I was going. The other one said I told my mom 2 days before I was going. I said, what? I can't do that shit, in the sense of
How did you use? What's the way we use?
Because it's that sense of even just some parents are more fluid and don't care. They're just as long as you have told me you have left the country and you're all good and who you're going with, I don't care. With my parents and also with this other person's parents, it was more of the fact that if you're going out, who are you going out with? Where are you? And if you have paid that money, I can tell you that you're not going, whether you have paid that money or not. I can tell you. My mom, I swear that my mom, even when we were going to Galway, my mom almost did the same thing. Did the same thing to me. And I said, nah, I'm taking my bags and I'm going. My mom, I think there was one that I think it was happening a few weeks ago. I was going to London and like I told my mom I was going to London. I didn't tell her who exactly I was going to London with, but like I told her I was going to London and then she was like, oh, go and ask your dad for permission. I said, excuse me? I am 24. I've paid for my tickets. I'm not asking my dad. I took my bags and went the following day.
I was just going to add that I hope that one day, someday soon, that me and you, Derick, one day we make a better dad and be a good example, and people of the next generation of our children will talk positively about us in the podcast. And I pray that we come across the good ones as well within our local environment and within our social interactions and gathering and whatnot. And it's just a pity that like the ones we've encountered in terms of pure father who has been our father by blood, unfortunately has never been great, not even great, but hasn't been good examples in the sense of their mentality. And to answer your question from earlier on when you said, is it how did they become who they are in whatever sense? I think it's just down to the way that they were raised in one sense or another, because you can't give what you don't have. What I mean by that is that what I mean by that is that, like, say for example, they were raised in a place where it's all about respect and dominancy and ownership and control. They have to respect whatever decision that was made for them, regardless of whatever they want in whatever sense. So like there's that aspect of they can't do whatever they want. So when they got the chance of freedom, they're not acting out all radical, but it's a bit too late for them to be acting out all radical when they have liabilities and responsibilities. And with the way that they were brought up, they're using the same manner and characterisms to grow us up, but not knowing that this is a different environment, this is a different rules of regulation, and this is a different type of space to grow up an African child. Just because you're an African doesn't mean that like you have to use the same handheld face that you were brought up with in whatever sense. So like that's a very interesting point, because then I feel that like the likes of my dad now, if he had his way, he would have a different he'd want me to become a mechanic, because he thinks I like, just because I watch Top Gear and anything to do with cars. I like watching cars, doesn't mean I want to fix cars. My mom as well thinks that because I like watching cars, I should become a mechanic. I didn't listen to that advice because they are misguided. They thought that a mechanical engineer is someone is a mechanic. Just because he has the word mechanica. Do you see how fucking stupid you have to be to think that?
I get your point, right? I get your point totally. But since I was a kid, I just kind of believed or felt like life is all about our instincts.
Instinct?
Yeah, our own like personal instincts. Like we have our own instincts. Like people choose what they want to be. Yeah. Believe it or not. Yes. Like you can be raised a certain way, right? Yeah. But still end up being different. In whatever sense. Completely different. You can be raised in like the poorest conditions with the worst mindsets, and then growing up you move into a different place, you learn new things. Develop. Life is about the openness of your mind. Yes. Just open your mind to evolve.
Sorry, can I just say something? Sorry. I just have to say the meme of Rick and Morty. Open your mind! Do you not know Rick and Morty? They did open your mind!
See the kind of person we have on our show. Uh-huh. You see the kind of person. We're talking about a topic here. She's talking about Rick and Morty. I said this to my mom every time. Their generation doesn't want to evolve. Like they've accepted their place in this world. True. Like they're not open to evolving. Yes. I'm serious. They're not open to evolving.
If you were to go out together, you wouldn't want to go to a place where they don't sell African food, in the sense like where they do spices. Like for me now, if I go wherever McDonald's, if it's spicy their food, I'll eat it because I like it. No, not because I like it, but because I feel like at least I'll have to adapt or die in whatever sense. But my dad now, the minute he touches anything that doesn't have any African spice or some sort, he feels like his stomach start turning him and he's going to start fucking shitting himself. It's all about the mindset. If you believe that this is going to happen to me, then the odds are that it's going to fucking happen to you. Yeah. That kind of a thing. Yeah. So like he's already prepared his mindset that like if it's not African food, if it doesn't have spice, if it doesn't have any pepper or anything African herbs or whatever in the food, it's going to upset his stomach, and next thing you know, he's fucking shitting himself. That kind of a mindset. And it's very hard for anyone to bring him out to be like, oh, let's go to this space, try something new, try something different and see what you might like from there. Not necessarily like, I know for sure it's not every food that I would like. That's what the fact that I'm not a picky person with food. I tend to like almost every food just because I like food and I'm not picky and I enjoy anything that goes down my throat. That being said, there's some food that I know that...
Pause.
I can't say this. Oh my God.
I have children behind me.
No Didi. He said like that goes down his throat.
No Didi, no Didi.
Vitamin D.
Oh my god. No, that came out so wrong.
Mom now, on the other hand, she's more willing and she's more accommodating to trying something different, something interesting, something different that she might not even know what it is, but if she tasted it, she'll be like, oh, this is nice, this is interesting, I like more of it, kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier on, you can't give what you don't have. If they don't have the mindset of being able to be different and think different from the way they were raised, they can't give what they don't have to new generation, especially their children.
There's a new generation of people that are just cutting their parents off. There's a new generation of people that are just cutting their parents off. That like, as in,
my sisters have cut on my dad in one sense that like they don't really communicate with them very often. Only when needed or only when if needs be. Like was when we were in Nigeria, my dad's birthday was on the 24th or something like that. I texted my dad. I don't know if my sister texted my dad. I didn't want to ask her if she did because her relationship with my dad is different to my relationship with my dad. Because at the end of the day, yes, he has hurt us. Yes, he's done something wrong. Yes, what he's done is bad. And yes, he's not the best communicator in whatever sense. Could he be better? Absolutely, in communicating his feelings and expressing his opinions and thoughts? Absolutely. But the fact that he's not doesn't make him any better or doesn't help him in the case that, like, if people want to actually interact, engage, and forgive you in whatever sense, it's easier for them to understand what you're trying to get at. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know if my sisters wished him happy birthday in whatever sense. I did it just because, look, at the end of the day, your business is your business. Whatever your situation is your situation. What I mean by that now is, now he has a second family of some sort with a kid in between, in one way or another. And now he's going to have to fend for that child in the sense that, like, he's going to have to cater to another child.
The funny thing is that your sister is 23, so your youngest sister is 23.
Yeah.
Everyone is out of the nest. Now you have come back to put someone back into the nest.
Because think about it now, he's working Monday to Saturday for him to be able to afford a lifestyle that's relatively decent and okay for the people back home. When I say for the people back home, he still has his mom, his dad, his second wife, for whatever sense, and the child that he's somewhat raising as well. And now he's missing in the picture for her. If that makes sense, he's missing in the picture for her. And that's not healthy for her now because she's going to grow up without a dad in the picture in whatever sense. Whereas if only he has fucking stick his dick in his pint and not let it out from anyone, it would have been fine. But that being said, let's keep in mind, a decision was made to keep that child when the minute he knew that this lady was pregnant. Because I think that a lot of times in Nigeria, one of the things that I notice in Nigeria is that there's poverty because people are making ethical decisions, not ethical or moral decisions based on religious factors, not calculated or strategic. Not strategic decisions in the sense that, like, oh, we fucked around, we found out, oh, now we're going to keep this child because we don't do abortion, because we don't, it's against our religion, it's against what people will say. And the definition of what people will say is, it's illegal, meaning you go and do abortion. But the thing is, we all know abortion is illegal in Nigeria to an extent, if I'm not mistaken. It is illegal, but people still do it, it's still practice. But the question then is, are you going to risk an abortion, or are you going to do an abortion that's going to cost you, worst case scenario, 50K, to compared to raising a child that's going to cost you the millions in the future, in whatever sense. So I know for sure, if I was to have a child that I know that financially I'm not ready for, mentally I'm not ready for, ethically I'm not ready for, morally I'm not ready for, I'm not going to go ahead with it. But if the baby mama then makes me go ahead with it, I have no choice but to dance to her tune, because now I have no choice than to support that child, because the decision was made of both of us fucking with our condoms in the first place.
You know what? Parents, you know what? All you father parents can go and have your children outside of your marriages or do whatever you want to do. But don't forget the ones that you have first had, or the ones that are in your household. Don't forget about them. You know what? If you, like, I see with white families, like, whereby parents break up and, like, you see that they have such a good relationship with their dads stepkids, their half kids, I'm going out with my steps. Do you know, there was one time I was at work and this girl goes to me, oh yeah, I went out for like a dinner date with my boyfriend and my stepsister. I was like, she's not even your half sister, she's your stepsister, and you even took her out to go and have I said, okay.
The mentality here is much healthier in the sense that, like, oh, having a step sibling is all well and good and whatnot in whatever sense, but everyone is in the mix. Everyone is everyone is aware of who, what, and where, kind of a thing, compared to hiding your child and all that stuff. And the next thing you know, someone has to find out. And it's a healthy relationship. It's healthy.
Like, you know what? There's so many people whereby, like, they've had an affair and then they end up having a child, and that child, the affair baby, is still really good, really has a good relationship with the actual siblings and everything. I just think that like you said, like the parents are mixing them together. They still have that good relationship between a person A and person B and dad, and or like there's still this kind of love and everything. I just feel like African parents would be like, here, this is your half sibling. Oh yeah, come and accept them. Come and accept them. You have to accept her right now. That's it, literally.
That's what my sister was trying to deny as well. When I say deny, like while we're in Nigeria, she doesn't want the half sibling to get to know her. And if she gets to know her, the future is that like my dad will start introducing the idea of, she's your step sibling now. You have to look after her. You have to be nice to her. You have to be kind to her. You know, she's your blood as well. You have to help her in whatever sense. And that's like, my sister's like, I don't want to be part of that. That's not my fucking doing. That's your doing. So you have to look after your own mess in one sense. And I understand it now because that was what she said. And I totally agree with her because
I agree with her.
Because at the end of the day, she's not the one that caused the relationship to strain between you and your wife. Never mind why you went outside. And if she was the one that caused the strain between you and your relationship, you should have said something much earlier in the relationship, like, look, child, you're the reason why myself and your mom are having a difficult time, but I want you to know that I want to be there for you. I'm just stepping away from your mom because of this and that and whatnot, and I'm going to go and seek help. If you had said that, I'm sure the child would understand at a younger age compared to not saying anything and then dipping and then expecting the child to understand when you come back and expecting the child to also accept your
honestly, like, I understand where she's coming from. Like the mentality of like that heaviness of that, and then they want to put it on you, that emotional blackmail.
Yes.
I genuinely understand where she's coming from.
That's what my sister is trying to avoid in the sense that, yeah, just because I get to know her, if I happen to get to know her, you're gonna try in the future, one way or another, to make sure that I look after her, while you might not be in the right ability to look after a child you fucked around with 20 years ago.
I just relate so much to your style. I feel that pain, that serious pain.
And that's what my sister, I don't want that either, because at the end of the day, I have no issue with the child. The child is not my problem, because
your sister would say the same thing, that the child is not the problem. It's your dad, the way that he has done everything, that
is the problem. Yeah.
And like it's taken me a while to reflect on that and say that the kids that my dad has, they are not the problem. They're genuinely not the problem. It's my dad that's the problem. Yeah. He's the problem. You know what? Even this current woman that he's with, God, I don't even know her. I don't even know if she's even putting. So like for me, I'm just saying, you know what? The kid is not the problem. The parents, yes, you guys are all the problem. Yes. You guys are all the problem. Because you know the funny thing is that I hold no malice or anger towards my mom and her current husband now. I don't talk to my stepdad like that, but like I have no issues with him. Nothing.
Like, do you guys get to hang out all like
no,
ever?
Because they're all in Nigeria, but like
your mom's man is in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm just trying to say is that like in regards to like I have no like anger or anything towards him or any like even the kids, but it's just my dad, like, and the way that he has gone about it, because I'm pretty sure like if truth be told, I hate to be that person that will say this, Femi, but like even if you were going to like try and find out with your father, I'm pretty sure she's not the first woman. She's not the last woman, if that makes sense, in the sense of those 6-year period, and that's the same thing that happened.
She's the third lady. There's a second lady that was in the mix, but they separated, or they went their second ways.
See?
And whatnot. So they never broke out.
Yo, all I can say is this topic should be like a 5-hour session. It should be 5 hours. We have a 10-hour session, because there are a lot of experiences. Like I can't even begin to phantom like the amount of experiences I can drop down here like today. Like this is just a few. So still back to the question anyways, like our generation, we seem level-headed, we seem cool. It doesn't seem like we're going to be like our dads in the future, right? But what happened along the line with them? Why are they this way? I know Femi has answered the question a bit. He said something about it was where they were brought up, the unfortunate circumstances by which they were brought up, and I opposed it in a way. I said something about instincts, and they're not open. They're not open to want to learn something new or evolve. Yeah, you know. So we would like to get another angle, like any other answer.
Let me Experience about that I had in Nigeria. So everywhere I went, I was trying to speak English. Not that I was trying to, but subconsciously, it was the English language that came to me. Staying in a place where it's Yoruba people, 90% of the time, and whatnot, makes me think that like, oh shit, this is not the way to say something or greet someone and whatnot. But for me, with the English language rather, it doesn't. In the way you speak in Yoruba, there's certain words or wordplay that you have to use for an elderly person or for a child, kind of a thing. And in an English term, there is no differentiation. It's you and that's it. Oh, your name and whatnot. Whereas, like people, but where we were staying, because we were staying in my grandma's house and there was tenants and whatnot, some people were calling me Uncle Femi. I'm like, please do not call me that. We're not related. Yeah, we both live in the same building and whatnot. If you call me by my name, I respect that more, because I feel that like at least you know my name and you know me more than trying to call me Uncle Femi. By you calling me Uncle Femi, it's like you're trying to fucking entice me or collect something from me subconsciously. That's
boss man.
You know that like I'm like, bro. I'm like, bro, I don't even fucking know you.
Do you know there was one time someone said to me, Yoruba people, if a Yoruba woman is sitting on this chair, you cannot come and sit on her chair until it's cooled down. I said, what? What nonsense is that? I was like, where did you hear that from? An Igbo man.
What the fuck?
So
I never heard that shit.
Do you know the funny thing is that I went to Dami and was like, Dami, is this a thing that happens? And he said, where the fuck are you hearing that from? Because I've never heard that. I think what I'm trying to say, sorry, like I went off topic. This stupid thing of blessing. I'm so sorry. Like, fuck off. Fuck you.
I know for sure with my two siblings that if and when they decide that they find the right partner and they want to get married and whatnot, the odds of if one of my parents are going to be there is going to be by luck and by chance. In the sense that like, oh, okay, we got a better relationship there now. Okay, maybe you're invited. Maybe you're invited. That being said, like for me, like I said before previously, like you guys already know, I'm not a cultural person. I'm not a traditional person. Asking and seeking your parents' blessing for something that you know that is not gonna benefit them. Bro, it's only gonna benefit you.
My own reason, yeah. I get you. My own reason for not even keeping a damn about the blessing is look at your relationship, bro.
It's not working out.
Okay, do you know the thing is? I said that one time to my dad, like in regards to relationships. I said to him, "You say, look at." I was like, look at your. Do you know what he wants to me? Well, she's evil. I was like, fuck off. like you know what? Let's just I want to say for the next podcast, we should definitely just talk about this sense of tradition and blessing, seeking blessing, and even like the woman part of it.
It's gonna be a topic for our next podcast because we have a lot, bro. We can't continue now actually.
So Femi, do you want to do the outro or?
Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to our podcast today. It's been a great joy talking to my friends and having to record this session. But we hope to see you some other time. Thank you for tuning in, and that's it from me. Mimi, any outro? Any saying goodbyes, anything like that?
Yo, it's your girl Miriam, M to the I to the R to the I-A-M, you know what I'm saying? Signing off.
Oh God, I'm tired of this girl, man. I'm tired of this girl. All right, I'll leave it to this, all right? Our topic today, as you guys already know, was Nigerian Dads, and my final statement is #Nigerian Dads do better. That's it.